It's a comedy. It's the Seinfeld of Game of Thrones, man. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's more lore. That's the only thing I'm really wanting out of like Game of Thrones. The IP anyway, man. Like Lionel Baratheon was hilarious. Like anytime you see a Baratheon, you think you're gonna see a rough, brooding AO or just a hard man close to the Northerners. But this one he was different. He was like a like Oscar Isaac mixed with Tyrion Lannister, man. I don't even know if that makes sense. But he was a fun character, man. With his, I'm spoilers alert. Spoiler alert, by the way, man. I'm all spoilers. Everything is spoilers. Uh, he had the little stag, antlers on his head, man, like as a crown. He asked Dunk what gift did he bring him? I like that little back and forth. That was pretty funny. Like I said, it's the comedy, the little spin-off comedy of Game of Thrones. It could work. You know what I'm saying? It was comedy in the little what you call them light novels or whatever. I read them. I can't really remember them. It was like back when Game of Thrones was like super 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 popping. I was reading anything I can get a hold of, just to get a gist of the lore. But the beginning, I think it was like a would you say allegory? What's I don't I'm sleepy right now. But like when he basically shitted on the theme song of Game of Thrones, that's George R. R. Martin beefing with the other creators. I think this is the only show he really is hands on, not because House of the Dragon he lost, Game of Thrones he had lost. So now he found another one where he's back hands on. It was alright. I like the casting. Dunk is a great choice. He's a big dopey lovable idiot. Perfect casting for him. Perfect casting for little egg man. The little kid is funny and mysterious right now. Like I said, perfect casting. I want to see the Targaryens they have cast for this one. Always interested in the Targaryens, but I wanted to. It's crazy. One of the best scene to me was when he went to go talk to all spoilers. By the way, he went to go talk to the guy who he had to come see first, but to join the tourney. And a guy mentioned, was mentions of the Dondarrion family, which, like I said, I'm just the lore. I'm in it for the lore. It's like, oh, I didn't know that house existed back then. Beric Dondarrion's house. I didn't know that they existed that long. I thought they were a newer family. You know what I mean? A newer house. That was just like, and him talking to that guy, him hitting his head, like, leave. I knew he was gonna do that when he was leaving out, but it's like him, that conversation that he had with him was like the best part of that whole episode. Like I said, it just was like I felt like I was in the world again. You just had a, a guy who was just at work. Like those are scenes that I love in anything like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, anything that has heavy lore. Like I just love those little simple. It's a guy that does this job. It's a guy that has to take on all these names to see if you gonna even be in the tournament. Then he made his little joke about, we hanging there, we F him dry. That was pretty funny. We probably never see that character again, you know what I'm saying? But like those are the scenes that I'm looking forward to when I'm watching stuff like this. Um Short. I thought it was like it was short. It wasn't the greatest. What do we have? The House of Dragon, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones still has the best first episode. Nah, yeah, Game of Thrones has it because it shows so many houses and families in the north, and then the looming threat. I'm gonna give it to Game of Thrones, but House of the Dragon had an amazing first episode, man. You had a tourney. You had Daemon Targaryen pop up and just do him the first episode. You know what I'm saying? This is the weakest. When you're looking at Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, and the Hedge Knight, and Knight of Seven Kingdoms. I like that it came on with its own intro. I hope it continues to do that with the little theme instead of coming on with the Game of Thrones theme. But it is the weakest first episode. Like if I was to show somebody this, I'm only interested because I'm a Game of Thrones fan, a Song of Ice and Fire fan. But if I was to show somebody else this who's not like a big fan of this series or the what would you say, man? Just anything Game of Thrones related, I don't think they would like it. I'm like, what was the point of this? Especially like if I was dating a girl, usually I'm dating a girl and I try to watch stuff like this with them. They would be like, what was this? He's shitting at the beginning, and where's this leading to? Is a little pedophilia with the kid? Why is the kid? They wouldn't get it. But this should have been like a second episode. The tone. This was like a second episode. The first episode is always supposed to hook you in with a blast. Like we in there. I didn't get that from this. I truly didn't. Like, I don't know if it should have been like some fights. I don't know if it should have been showed another house for a little minute to get us interested to come back. It's like, oh, we gonna get this like high deal with the walkers or the hey, I haven't seen Game of Thrones in so long. Y'all know what I'm talking. The walkers. We just gonna keep them as that. We got to see them lay out the little pattern. It's like, what is that? That was at the beginning of the episode, and then, Ned, of course, beheads somebody. Shows Robert Baratheon. They come. We know about Jon Arryn's death. We see Jaime Lannister. Like, it didn't give me any of that in this show, man. Like, we got Lionel Baratheon, who's a goofball, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically a goofball. I don't feel like we saw two horrors. 3. We did see Aegon. That was good. They threw him, but like it's Duncan Ed. We know he's gonna be in the show. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get that, but this is also gonna have this. We didn't get that. Decent first episode. Decent. Like I say, I think the best thing about it was the cast. When you see the cast, the characters, everybody did a good job on the first episode. The horrors did good. That's about the best thing I can say about it. Is just the good cast. Everything else was just mediocre. Just like watching, like I said, a second or a third episode. Just like you can kind of show the world a little bit. It didn't give me that umph that I wanted. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's it. Just a little short, little summary. A little review of the episode. Man, I'm gonna watch. I really can't wait till House of the Dragon come back. Even though the second season was, some episodes was hit and miss, but I want to see where this goes, man. I want to see what they do because I know they're gonna do something new other than like what's in the story. They're gonna do little side things. Hopefully, little Blood Raven, little pop in. Like even if it's just like quick, just like I was on House of Dragon. But that's it, man. That's my review. Don't be in it.